Welcome to the RotoWire DFS show, Euros edition. I am Adam Zdroik, talking Tuesday showdown between Spain and France. What's up, everyone? Ryan and Jack taking a break from the Showdown series here. You can still find them in the Discord, rotowire.com/soccer trial. That's 48-hour trial to get into the Discord, rotowire.com/chat. And of course, I'll give a shout to Jack's Patreon, which has projections. We don't have projections, so I can still give a shout out to Jack Burkhart's Patreon, which, we still got a couple showdowns left in Euros. The final is Sunday. We will still have some showdown videos coming up. We still also have Wednesday's game between England and Netherlands. But today, 4 hours from now, roughly 4 hours from now, France against Spain. As you can see here, let's get into the cheat sheet. Rotowire.com/soccer trial. We'll be using this DraftKings cheat sheet. I'll go over projected lineups, go over kind of what I think about this game, and get into some deep diving into roster construction for cash games and GPBs. So let's take a look here. So we got Carvajal suspended. Lenormand is suspended as well. Pedri also injured in that game against Germany, so he is out. So what we have here, if you can believe it, yes, crossing Jesus Navas projected to start at right back because they don't really have another right back in the roster available to them to take Carvajal's spot. So it's projected Jesus Navas is going to be starting at right back here for Spain. And then Nacho and Laporte will be in at center back with Lenormand suspended. Cucurella still in at left back. And then Dani Olmo projected to start in place of Pedri. Pedri out injured. So pretty much otherwise we have pretty much the same lineup. Mentioned the suspensions, mentioned Pedri being out. It's expected Alvaro Morata will start again. He got that yellow card off the bench after that late winner against Germany, and UEFA said he was not suspended for his 2 yellow cards in 5 matches. So Morata, Nico Williams, Lamine Yamal in there, and then Fabian Ruiz. Rodri. France's side, maybe some more questions, even though they don't have any injuries. They don't have any suspensions. Maybe some more questions. The back line is set. Big Mike Maignan in net. And then, so we got Rabiot projected to start over Camavinga. Rabiot was suspended in that last game against Portugal. Rabiot expected to come in for Camavinga. And then they have this midfield of Rabiot, Tchouaméni, and N'Golo Kante. And so the question comes up top. Okay, we know about Kylian Mbappe. We know he's going to be starting. So what do we get? What else we can get? So the big question comes in this front, these other two more attacking players. So many rumors out about Griezmann actually not starting for France. I got him in here for now. I haven't seen anything certain. L'Equipe has been wrong a couple times in terms of projecting what's going to happen with France. I do think that Didier Deschamps is not on board with Griezmann, which is kind of why I got subbed off early in that last game. I think it's very possible that Griezmann doesn't start here, but I don't know if they actually have another player who can take that role. It would be something like, okay, cool. Kolo Muani started against Portugal and Dembele came on and looked pretty good. So it could be, if Griezmann doesn't start, it could be Mbappe on the left wing. It could be Kolo Muani maybe centrally, and then Dembele on that right side. That's what it could be. Thuram is also an option. He was dropped in that last game. So there are a couple ways to look at it. Maybe Dembele is better as a super sub off the bench kind of a thing. So those are the two main questions. And I guess it comes to how much does it matter for DFS? I'm not sure it matters a ton. I know these are pretty important players, but Griezmann, he's if he gets 3 corners, Spain have allowed I think 12 corners across 5 matches. So no matter who starts, maybe if Griezmann doesn't start, maybe it could be a split of Mbappe and Dembele getting free kicks and corners. In the end, how much does that mean in terms of DFS? Maybe a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be a massive thing unless we do get a scoreless draw. So let's look at the odds. Got a couple comments coming in, as weird as this may sound, but Mbappe captain for GPP could be low owned. Yeah, Spain Highline and Pepe can't keep up. Pepe plays for Portugal. Unless I'm thinking of, yeah, Pepe plays for Portugal. So yeah, it'll be Laporte and Nacho playing at center back. Ash mentions Thuram. Thuram could start. Yeah, we're having a chat about Pepe, who Pepe is. Yes, he does play for Portugal. Either way, here are the odds. So if this game took place before the tournament actually started, it'd probably be a little opposite. Also, the implied goal total will probably be about 2.5, I'd say, if this match was played before. If we grab these odds before any Euro game was played, it'd probably be France as a favorite, probably bigger than a favorite than Spain is right now. France would probably be closer to 40% chance to win. The implied goal totals would be, I assume, would be a little higher, but we've had the way France have played these last 5 matches, so that's kind of dragging down this overall implied goal total. But we have currently 4 hours for the match, 1.14 implied total for Spain, 1.07 for France. If you want to ignore some things, if you want to ignore pre-tournament expectations, if you just want to look at these last 5 games, I actually think Spain should be a bigger favorite. But I mean, this is Spain, France. France was one of the favorites, if not the favorite, to win it all before the tournament. And you could argue they probably still have a better overall team than Spain. It was something I'll get into here, but so France's back line is the stronger back line between these teams. As I mentioned, we got Jesus Navas projected to start at right back, and just some guys who haven't played a ton together. Danny Elmo, I was trying to look up in the past year or two, how many times Danny Elmo has actually played with these guys. He hasn't played a ton with Nico Williams or Lamine Yamal, outside of, I guess, technically that last game there. But I was trying to find out the set piece situation, and then they did all start in a game against Brazil a few months ago in a friendly where Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal split set pieces, with Danny Elmo not getting set pieces in that one. So that is relevant there. And again, I mentioned the France set piece situation. It's obviously dependent on if Griezmann starts or not. And then even then, Griezmann is in a situation where he could go 60 minutes and you're playing Griezmann for set pieces, and he has one set piece, and it just doesn't matter because Deschamps doesn't like what he's doing, kind of a thing. So that is a possibility. So personally, I'll run into how I think this match could go. I think that Spain are going to come out in the front foot, unless these teams play completely different than how they've shown over the past few weeks. I think Spain are going to come out in the front foot. They kind of did this against Germany. They're going to try and get an early goal and try and go from there. I think if Spain score first, I think this has a potential of having more goals. Because France really haven't been in a situation where they've had to attack in a match yet in this tournament. They've been fine with, okay, we'll sit back, we'll play it a little safer, we'll get opportunities when they come to us. And it's, the stat going around is, okay, France still haven't scored a goal from open play. They have all these own goals, they have a PK. So that's what's going on with France. But if the other team scores, if Spain score first, France have to change up how they're actually going to play a little bit. So I think if Spain scores first, we're going to see things a little differently from how France have been playing. I think that could open it up. So if Spain get that first half goal, if they get an early goal, I think it's going to be a little different than what some people are expecting. So if you want to play, maybe you play for that first goal, maybe you play for the France run back, play for over 2.5, something like that. I think that's in range. And the other end of that, I think if France play how they want to start this match, how they played the last few matches, I think, getting another France 1-0 win. Of course, we can talk about scoreless draws and going into PKs, getting that extra 30 minutes. We can talk about that as well. But I think, the France, I think it's more likely that France win 1-0 than Spain win 1-0. Looking at the Spain back line, they couldn't keep Germany out in that last game, and I think France can keep Spain out. if they get that one goal. So I'm talking, okay, Mike Magnan, captain looks. That would be the 1-0 France play. As we get into goalkeeper captain, Unai Simon. Captain is not as easy as usual because Cucurella and Jesus Navas, both right back and left back, are listed as midfielders at DraftKings. So that unfortunately takes away 6 points in case you're playing for that winning clean sheet from Simone. That takes away the clean sheet from if you're playing left and right back. So maybe you're kind of looking at, do I got to really play Laporte here? Do I got to play Nacho? That kind of thing. So just looking at these contests, I'm talking 4 hours before the contests actually start, and pretty much we already have the step over, or the main step over, already filled. The main sweeper is about to fill. Near post is about to fill. We already got a second near post posted. Pretty much everything's gonna is gonna close up here. Is gonna fill hours before the slate starts. Outside of the main here, we got 100K semifinal clash, 20K to first. That one is about half full. We got 4 hours left. I think it'll be pretty close, but that is the only one that isn't really close. Otherwise, everything is pretty close to filling here. So that's a good sign as we get forward. Also, Wednesday slates are also posted as well. If you want to jump in those, if you're watching now, jump into Wednesday slates to make sure you actually don't forget to get into all the contests you want to get into. So what is the talking point on this slate? I think the question is, as we get Dani Olmo in here, that kind of makes things a little more difficult for Spain, especially in a showdown, because in prior slates, it's like, okay, we got Morata, we got Lamine Yamal, we got Nico Williams. It's kind of like, I think was it the last slate where it's like, okay, let's play Nico Williams, let's play Lamine Yamal and get it done with. Prior slate, it was okay. Morata was, I don't know, almost minus 200 or whatever he was against Georgia. Okay, now he's in the conversation with those guys. And now we have Dani Olmo in the conversation. So that just kind of makes it a little more difficult. Just throw in another high-end player here along with Mbappe. So if you captain one of these guys, so let's say you captain, I don't think there's really a slam dunk captain. If we're talking cash games, there just isn't anyone who is like, okay, yeah, Mbappe, maybe he's going to get split set pieces, but he's still max price. If you get Mbappe, you're not going to really be able to get these Spain guys. And I think, assuming, if this game goes as kind of what is expected, where Spain are going to have more possession, maybe 55%, they're going to have more passes, more of the ball. I think even if Spain score in the first half, I don't think it's going to be like, okay, France are just massively pushing. I think it'll still be pretty even overall. But if you're into cash games for Showdown, I think the best move may be to go down a little bit and look at one of those French fullbacks who Theo Hernandez and Koundé have been doing a little bit of everything. They'll send in crosses here and there, but Hernandez will get some shots here and there. But they will rack up defensive stats as well. Their floors have been pretty close to 10 every game, obviously clean sheets included. But if you can get close to 10 points from one of these cheaper French fullbacks, that's just going to allow you to, okay, play Mbappe, play Olmo, throw in a Nico Williams or a Lamine Yamal in that situation. Maybe you don't want to play Olmo. Maybe you want to play both Nico and Yamal. And I think that is pretty possible here. Just putting together this lineup. It's a weird slate where both the goalkeepers, despite having the 2.21 implied goal total, both goalkeepers are fairly cheap in this below 6K range. Simone is 5.4K. Mike Mignon is 5K. So pretty cheap for both goalkeepers. So goalkeeper captain obviously is live here. Actually, it looks like we got as I was talking, we got an odds update here. 1.15 implied goal total for Spain, 1.06 for France. So it looks like some money is coming in on Spain a little bit as I'm talking. Maybe people are listening to the show and they threw down some money on Spain. So shouts to the high rollers listening to the show. But it's a weird slate in that you even have guys down towards the bottom where, okay, N'Golo Kante's 3.8K, a guy who's basically playing every meaningful minute, and he's shown a 5+ point floor where, he's winning tackles. He's assisting shots in every match. He's even been in situations for goals. I think he had the best two chances for France against Portugal, but so at 3.8K, getting 5 to 8 points from Conte isn't terrible. And then if you're playing for that defensive route, we have center backs from both of these teams are pretty cheap as well. Rabiot has been a tournament favorite of everyone. If we look through his game logs, Rabiot, unclear how long he's going to be going here. He's gone 90 a couple times. I think people looked at him in that was it the opening match against Austria? It was either that one or the Poland match. I think it was the Poland match when he finished with negative 0.8 points in 61 minutes against Poland. He was an option in that one. Tchouameni is 4,200. Again, I mean, you look at his numbers. He's getting in forward situations where he's taking shots. He's assisting teammates, doing a little bit of everything. What he famously, I don't know, but 15-point floor against Belgium in that round of 16 match, 8.6 against Portugal. Again, you just have all these cheaper midfielders, and then you look on the Spain side. I know Spain are favored, but again, not by much. And what you have, Fabian Ruiz, probably a favorite of the RotoWire crew throughout this tournament. But now we have Fabian Ruiz at 8K, which is pretty extreme here. Rodri comes in at 6.6K. Fabian Ruiz, his price has just gone up pretty much every game here, maybe outside of that Germany one where he dropped a little bit because of matchup, but he started at 5,200 and went to 6,200. Now he's at 8K for this, which is just a pretty high price. I know he's had a great tournament, but when you're comparing him with, I don't know, he's kind of in a range all by himself here. Dembele's at 8,400 in case he starts. I think Ruiz is kind of in this range. Maybe not Dembele because I think the Spain guys are going to be more popular. But so you have Yamal, you have Nico Williams, Morata, you have Dani Olmo. Ruiz is in here at 8K. I think he's a pretty good GPP play. He's in this range where he's not cheap, he's not expensive. He's in the mid-range all by himself in the Spain team, and I don't know how many people are going to be going to him just because Olmo looks like a great play. Nico Williams and Yamal splitting set pieces. Both have looked really good at times. Morata probably will be a good tournament play as well, just because he really hasn't had a great tournament. He's going to get subbed off. He disappointed everyone in the game against Georgia. He hasn't scored since the first match against Croatia, but who's to say here we go into this one, maybe Spain do get a goal early. Maybe it is 1-0. Morata gets the goal. He's sitting on 18 points. Maybe it's unassisted, and you're not getting corners from Williams and Yamal. You're not getting as much from Olmo because Spain aren't pressing as much, kind of a thing. So I think I'm just trying to lay out the reasons why basically everyone is in play. I guess that's what I'm trying to say here. Everyone is in play, kind of for both of these teams. Granted, do we think finally Rabiot, Tchouameni, or Conte are going to connect on one of these shots for France and get a goal? Obviously, it's possible. Maybe not likely, but those guys have had plenty of opportunities. And again, how I started this off, if Spain get an early lead, I do think they concede here. So I will be, even though I think Spain are going to win, even though I prefer Spain to win, I may be more likely to play Mike Maignan captain because I think it's more likely France get a clean sheet and Spain get a clean sheet. If any of that makes sense, even though I'm still projecting Spain to win here. But are there any? Let me. Okay, we got some comments here before I start going off on some more things. A lot of talk about Pepe. Could you see a Navas captain line in cash to jam in more studs or play it safe with a set taker? You could go Navas and captain. Yeah, let's see what the difference is, because I was trying out Kunde and Teo Hernandez. Hernandez, and I was still getting a lot of options. Um, like I think that it's still pretty easy. Like you can, as I was saying, these French midfielders have produced decent floors. Like so, you could still play. Like you can play Conte and Chouameni in cash games and not be crazy. Granted, do you want to play three sub 5K guys? In a cash lineup, maybe not, but I'm not sure what actually Jesus Navas gets you at captain. Um, Let me do it really quick. I guess it would be uh, so instead of like a Chouameni or Conte, you're moving up to Dembele or Fabian Ruiz. So it's like, okay, Navas, Mbappe, Yamal, Nico Williams, and then you got Conte or Chouameni, and then you got Dembele, Fabian Ruiz, kind of a thing. Obviously, Dembele is starting in this situation. So I mean, that's kind of what it gets you. It doesn't. I guess if you move off Yamal and go Danny Olmo, and then instead of Dembele, you get maybe Griezmann starts, kind of thing. Uh, I don't think it gets you too much. Again, this is all dependent on lineups, but you could go the route of Jesus Navas. So looking at this matchup, I think it's going to be an interesting matchup. So we got Jesus Navas, um, however old he is. He feels like he's older than Pepe at this point, but he's 38 years old. Jesus Navas he's older than me. So I'm just going to envision myself being on playing right back in this situation, going against Mbappe, going against an attacking Teo Hernandez. I know, obviously, I'm not Jesus Navas. I'm not comparing myself to him, but uh, just as a 38-year-old right back, I know he plays a decent amount for Sevilla. 25 starts this past season. He's gotten a decent amount of run, but it's a crazy situation. Let's see how many times he went against Vinicius here. Let's look at. I'm diving deep into the weeds here. Jesus Navas. Obviously, you can't compare these things playing at Sevilla. Uh, Here are his floors against Real Madrid. Okay, a 10-point floor going against Vinicius, assuming Vinicius played in those games, and Real Madrid. So, maybe the possibility is there, but I feel like they're going to be like, Jesus, sit back a little more. We got to worry about Mbappe here kind of going off. We need help on this side. I think we're going to get plenty of Teo Hernandez overlapping Mbappe on that left wing. I think it's going to be depending how it goes. I'm not going to say it's going to be a problem all game, because I think Spain are again going to be attacking more in the first 45 minutes. But in that second half, I think that Jesus Navas is going to have some problems there. Once That's kind of why I think Spain score first. That's why I think France are going to have a good chance to to get one back. Let me read some more questions here. What's the standard stack quantity? I know most people like 4 or 5 hitters. Um, I mean, this is Showdown, so in an even match like this that has a projected low scoring total, like there isn't really like it's not really stacks per se. Like there's plenty of times where we're going 5-1. Um, Again, I'm talking about prices here, so I'm not sure it's really worth it to go Spain 5-1 unless you think this is a domination of 3-0. Because we do have the expensive Ruizes, we do have the expensive players all around. We don't have defender eligible for Navas and Cucurella, whereas you got all these cheaper guys for France who have shown decent floors. So I don't think going 5-1 Spain is going to be the winning ticket unless just massive domination. Again, I don't think that's going to happen. So I don't think going full 5-1 Spain is the winning route. Dembele, the sleeper play. Yamal can't keep this form up. I don't know why can't Lamine Yamal keep this floor up? Are we looking into? Was it Rabio came out and had some comments about Lamine Yamal? Okay. Favorite Spain forward. Yeah, I thought someone was gonna ask this question. So I don't think there's really a slam dunk per se. I do like Danny Olmo. So playing centrally, so you got to think maybe going to be on the ball a little more. I know Nico Williams and Jamal have had great tournaments, but how much do we care about their set pieces here? How much do we care about the free kicks? And even then, at the end of the day, Almo could take free kicks as well. So that has to come into play. How many are expecting against France? Probably Olmo. I just think that he's involved a little more, playing a little more centrally. Nico Williams on the same side as Koundé. Koundé was okay against Rafael Leao in that last game. Nico Williams, Lamine Yamal, probably. I'm kind of leaning Yamal a little bit just because of the matchup against Taylor Hernandez, who likes to get up a little more. The sub risk is a question that no one could really answer. Almo went 12 minutes off the bench last game. Maybe he's going to be subbed out first because he came into the tournament with an injury. Jamal went 63 or whatever minutes against Germany. Nico Williams has been getting subbed off early. I think he went 80 last game. So we can't really answer these questions. I do think Almo is my favorite play of that trio, of that quad, actually, more than Murata. In terms of cash games, really, I'm not sure who's going to be most popular. It's really an impossible question to answer. I don't know who's going to be most popular. Will Olmo be most popular? Because he hasn't taken any corners, so I don't think he'll be most popular. Murata probably least popular because people are going to look at those game logs and not play him and say he's been disappointed. Yeah, I guess Matt is saying the same thing I was saying with the matchups against the fullbacks. We don't actually know who is going to be on PKs for Spain. It's assumed. The thought is that it's going to be Rodri. Again, Murata, maybe he's on PKs, but he's been only going about 70 or so minutes. See, I mean, the only way I'm just reading these comments. The only way that Murata gets there is a PK. Yeah, until it's not, until he scores in the first 10 minutes and everyone's like, guess I should have played Murata because he's going to be the least popular of these Spain forwards kind of a thing. So I just think that Murata is a pretty good way to go. Mbappe, here we go. We got Tropical Bear coming in. Mbappe in a game where Spain dominate possession and France take 2 shots. Sounds suboptimal to me. I just don't think France get 2 shots here. I'll say we get to Spain 55, 60% possession, but I just find it difficult to see that France are only getting 2 shots. I think Mbappe is still going to be ripping shots. I think he's going to be salivating at this matchup on this right-hand side against Navas and company. I think France have a pretty big advantage right there. All right, sorry, a lot of comments here, so I'm just reading through. Cucurella, Navas spamming crosses. Sure, which makes sense. All right. Yes, Pedri has been diagnosed with a knee sprain. Yes. Yes, Pedri is out. All right. All right. So I think that's it for the comments there. I don't want to get too down in the weeds in the comments, but so I talked a little bit about cash games. How far are we? Almost 30 minutes in. So I'll do this Mike Maignan captain because, as I said, Spain are getting a little more of the money here right now. I think it'll be popular, but how popular will it be? So as I kind of started the show off with 1-0 France win. Maybe it's scoreless at halftime. Maybe they get a goal. They get that breakthrough late in the game, sometime in the second half. Spain need one late, and France's defense is too good. So it's 1-0. So how are we going to win tournaments with Mike Maignan captain? Let's just say, okay, 5%. 5% Maignan captain. What does that look like? So Koundé, Teo Hernandez, Mbappe. We got 19.1 left. I think there's a pretty obvious route for Mike Maignan captain, where you got Koundé, Teo Hernandez, Mbappe, Olmo, and Nico Williams. You could mix around some players here and then get Yamal in there instead of Nico Williams. But if you want to be different, if you want to be different, because that will be a popular Mike Maignan captain. Maybe not Murata, but Fabian Ruiz, guy I already mentioned here. He's shown a decent floor. He will take shots. He will play a little deeper than Danny Olmo, but not that much deeper. Still playing a little bit above Rodri, still being in great situations. So how many people are going to play Maignan, Koundé, Teo Hernandez, Mbappe, Olmo, and Fabian Ruiz? We got 1.9K remaining. I kind of like that one. I'm giving this out to the people for free. So maybe that means I can't play it myself, but maybe you don't want Fabian Ruiz. Maybe you want Rodri. Maybe this is a Rodri game where, he hasn't really been getting that far forward. But okay, let's say Mbappe gets a goal with an assist from Teo Hernandez in the 70th minute, and there really hasn't been much going on before then. So we're getting a Danny Olmo floor. Let's say he goes 90 minutes, but we get Spain trying to push for the final 20 minutes, and Rodri is just sitting on the top of the box a little bit, and he's ripping shots. He's got 3 shots, 4 shots, a couple of shots assisted in this midfielder role. He's 6.6K. Now you got him as one of your Spain pieces with Mike Maignan captain. You got 3.3K left. So there are possibilities. Maybe you go down further. Maybe it's like, okay, actually Cucurella has had a really good tournament. Maybe he's going to rack up his usual defensive stats. Send in some crosses, assist some shots, 4.4K. So that these are the ways you kind of mix and match and not be obvious along with everyone else. So there's a couple ways to play this Mike Maignan captain. And before I go, I will have to say subs. Subs are in play. This is a showdown. Scoreless draws are in play. We saw last game, Donny Olmo. Okay, we're not going to expect that again. He went 112 minutes, but if we do go into extra time, you're going to get subs coming in 70, 80 minutes, and they're still getting, 45 or so minutes. So Ferran Torres is a guy who has come in and taken corners in previous games. His numbers don't look great, but okay, maybe Ferran Torres is pushing, gets a few corners, and he gets the goal. So he's sitting here at 9K. Ferran Torres is an option. Who else would be an option? Griezmann, I guess, obviously Griezmann, if he doesn't start. Dembele, if he doesn't start, of course. I'm not sure Grimaldo will come in. What else? Thuram, another option off the bench. Maybe Spain needs something late, and Joselu comes in. Olivier Giroud, maybe France needs something late. Spain are up 1-0. Giroud gets a header goal to tie it 1-1 just before regular time. So these are just a couple ideas. Oyarzabal has come off the bench pretty much almost every game. Merino, he got the winner in the last game against Germany, went 40 minutes. So there's just a few routes. This is, in case you're used to, Premier League playing showdowns in Premier League, this is a little different because in addition to being showdown here, we have the potential for an extra 30 minutes where I know it's not guaranteed that anything's going to happen in extra time, because a lot of times these teams are just like, okay, let's get to PKs. We don't want to kill ourselves out here, kind of thing. But Merino got that goal in that last game. So things can happen in extra time. So it is a little more likely that, a sub kind of breaks the slate here than it is for like a regular league game in the Premier League, something like that. All right. Let's go down the rabbit hole of comments. So if Rabiot scores a square root divided by Yamal corner, would that be optimal? I'm not playing Rabiot. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Fabian and Rodri have more accurate shots per match than the entire France squad. Per match, I don't know. Maybe, but I don't know how much that matters. If Olmo goes off early, it's Alex Baena on free kicks. Is that what we're getting? I don't know if that's actually the case. I guess I guess the thought is, okay, with Pedri out, almost is getting the start. So the thought is Baena would be the next guy to come in. He he just hasn't really played that much. I guess it's possible, but he is 9,800, so this would be massive. What do we call it? Watermelon brain move here. Baena, I guess he would be the guy to come on for Almo. Obviously, in that situation would be it wouldn't be. I think if Spain are actually leading, I think Marino would come on for Almo. Um, I'd actually have to look at their roster here to see who else would come on for him. Um, so, well, I mean, technically, Oyarzabal could come on for Olmo as well. Like he can play in a few different spots. Marino, I'm not entirely certain on Baena. I guess he is an option. Bears guy Fermin Lopez, also an option. Yeah, that is a bit extreme if you want to go to Baena, I guess. All right, that's all I got here. It's 36 minutes, so I hope everyone enjoyed the show. A lot of comment reading. If Mbappe goes off early, this is all speculation. That's all I got for this show. Thank you for watching this. RotoWire.com/soccer trial, 48-hour trial. Good luck on this one. Good luck winning this 20K. Hopefully this is a good game. Hopefully this is a better game than France-Portugal, but I think Spain have played as one of the more exciting teams in this tournament. I think the way that they play is going to have this one being a pretty fun watch here on a Tuesday afternoon. So hopefully this is a good game. I haven't actually looked over at these floor stats yet, but per 90, Yamal actually has a per 90 floor better than Dani Olmo, despite Olmo racking up crazy stats off the bench. So that's pretty interesting there. Yamal has a better per 90 floor than Olmo, and then Nico Williams is a little below that. So just a little thing I'll leave you with. Anyway, thanks for watching. You can find RotoWire Soccer at RotoWire Soccer on Twitter. I am at Zdroik. Thanks again, RotoWire.com/soccer trial, 48-hour trial.